So let's gonna start with the paper. This is an aquarelle or watercolor paper, and here is the picture of the lady we will gonna draw today. It's quite challenging to paint a portrait or a picture or a landscape in watercolor because, as you know, when it dries it can scatter if you do it wrong. So now we're just gonna place the paper on my wooden platform first, and I'll just gonna put a tape on it, and please be precise with the margin. Alright, so this recording is very fast, as you can see, because if you actually are with me in the process of painting, it took me more than 5 hours. So first I have to put in the lines. As a photographer or an artist, we always follow some lines. So at this point I am using the rule of thirds. If you are checking your cameras, you sometimes see the lines. There are 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines that you see, but most of the people don't know actually how to use that. Maybe most of the picture or photo enthusiast alone can use it. So as you can see on the paper, I already draw a little bit of sketch alone, and since my phone is closing or turning off by itself, I have to adjust. So actually when I draw, I don't want to follow the actual image. I usually paint it according to what I understand, or I portray the character of the person that I see in the picture without knowing the person. By the way, as I am doing a sketch, I am using an eraser. It's a clay eraser used in making a sketch. So now I erase all the grid lines after I have done all of the sketching. I know it's not easy to see it from here. It's not easy for you to see how the sketch look like, because since I'm just gonna paint it with watercolor, I have to slightly use the pencil. And by the way, I am using tailor's ruler because I sometimes sew some clothes as well, you know. So this is the pencils that I use. It's a 4B, HB, and 6B. If you cannot afford this kind of pencils, just buy an ordinary pencils that you can find. So now I'm putting on the details on the face of the lady, the madame. If someone know this lady, please give her a shout out, or at least give her some hugs. Shout out is old school. Hugs is better. Shout out is rude. Whisper is better. Right. So now, as I have sketched her eyebrow, I am trying to refine the shadows. So as you can see, since this is a watercolor, I have to refine all the shadows on her faces. You can see that it's on the left part of the picture. No, it's on the right. I'm sorry. It was on the right. So I have to put on the shadow underneath the eyebrow and a little bit of line underneath the eyes and on the cheekbone. So now I'm trying to put the form of the hair, and my pencil don't want to obey me. So now I'm going to the shadows of the tower. Since she lives in France, so the main topic here is the lady and the tower. That's why the title is Franglish, because she's a teacher speaking English in France. But you can create a new language in Franglish. The only France? No. The only French that I know is merci and bonjour. I don't even know how to pronounce it right, but please don't bash me. I'm just an artist. So let's go and refine the lines first, right? It's not easy to do this here. If you are a beginner, I know you will struggle, but this is cool to do. So I use a lot of ruler. Without the ruler, how will my life be? I tell you, sometimes you need unnecessary things to make your life easy. You just don't know how necessary they are. Not until you buy them with your husband's money. I just hope my husband is not listening. He might be, but his phone is off or mute. I think my head is disturbing the camera, but it's kind of better this time because my first videos actually it was the top of my head without the hair on the top. That disturbs the camera, and when the top of the head disturbs the camera, you guys can see that I'm losing hair. And maybe there's someone out there who would feel pity of me and maybe would lend me some hair treatment. Would you treat the hair or would you not treat the head? I'm quite confused. I wish that you could treat first the head, then you could treat the hair. I don't know. So now I am sketching her clothes, a little bit of the hair. This phone. So right. You know, her hair is very dark, and the picture actually that she sent me has a very low megapixel, so I couldn't see most of the details that I need. So now let's go around the legs. It's a little bit rounded, and I have to also think about the bones and the structure of the body so that I won't be overdoing the size of the hand, of the body, and of the legs. And you know that the shadows on the right side of the picture, I actually have to consider those because they are the ones that will create a life in this picture. So here are the 3 pens that I use. There are 3 round pens, and the other small one is called the detailed pen. They are synthetic. The other one is made of special hair. It's not my hair, don't worry. Maybe that's why you are worried about why I lose my hair, because they are the ones I use on my pants. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of water around where I'm gonna put a little bit of background color. So this is the technique of watercolor painting, is that you don't wet the whole paper, because when you do that you will destroy the whole sketch, or you will destroy the whole painting, because once you put on a color they will scatter everywhere. So first you just water around the subject and then mix a little bit of color. As you see, they just stay there, you know, the color just stay where the water is. They won't go on the margin if you don't paint over that. But since the hair is black, so I have to start a little bit of light colors. And don't forget those small spots in the tower. So I'm actually using a blue, a marine blue, and I dump it with my towel. I don't know why I use the towel. I can actually use a tissue paper for this, but since I'm used to hold the towel because I used to paint, or I'm always painting with oil or with acrylic, so I like to hold the towel. So now as you see on the skin, I use a little bit of yellow, or no, it's an orange. Actually, it's an orange with a little bit of red. Now I'm gonna go a little bit darker with a little bit of brown, because I have to go under the shadow. Remember that watercolor, you know, when you paint them, you have to be careful about the dark and the light mixing of the color, because when they dry, they will become a little bit more lighter. So since the face is still wet, I have to go on the clothes and put on the color red first. You see, it's easy to get around the color. I think it's easy for you to see it from there on the screen. So now I put a little bit of water on the chest, because it's also color red there. So just to make sure that the colors will stay where I put the water. So yeah, just paint it on. Got it, mama. Paint it on. Don't be shy with that color, just drip it in. But be careful you don't drop too much, because it will look like overdue. Now I'm mixing a little bit of yellow umber and going around the shadow underneath the eyes, underneath the cheekbone, on the nose, and underneath the eyelids. So yeah, those eyebrows, you know, those eyebrows are quite challenging for all women. You know, even if I paint my own eyebrow, I'm still struggling. So remember that I also struggle even in painting. I think you still remember how the picture looked like. There was a shadow underneath the cheekbone, and underneath the lips, the lower lip, because there's an upper lip and lower lip. All kinds of lip is acceptable. Yeah. So now let's go on the details of the eyes. Now as you can see, it's starting to form a little bit. If you don't have patience, you cannot paint, because this is very time consuming. Not just the time, but it also teaches you to be silent in your mind. It teaches you to be silent in your thoughts, and to just think of the positive things, you know. So this is my time to rejuvenate. Wow, that's a new word I discovered today. Rejuvenate. Rejuvenate your beauty with Downy. So it's a rejuvenating time, because mostly I have a lot of thoughts when I'm painting, and I also pray a little bit while I'm painting. So now as you see, I already painted a little bit of red on the lips, both the upper and the lower. So you could notice maybe that I avoided the hair and the pants or the legs, because those are actually dark. So when you paint on watercolor, you have to start with the light ones before you go to the dark. And it's the same with the tower. There's a lot of black colors in there, so I have to get back to it. Now I'm going on with the blue. So why do I have to avoid that line? I just have to go through it. So yeah, I just did it. Now I put a little bit of line around the legs or so, just to define the details. I just hope that she liked this, you know. It's a little bit small. This is like a notebook size. It's an A5 size. I think it's around 160 by 220 centimeters. If you would actually imagine the size of this painting. So now I'm going a little bit darker on the skin so that she's not pale. Because you know, all the light color that I used a while ago, it looks like she's pale. So I went a little bit more yellow. So let's go on the details on the hair, over the ears, neck, and a little bit maybe on the chin. Those are actually the shadows under the neck. Now I refine a little bit the ear so that you could see it. now let's go to the details of the tower. Let's put on the dark lines first, where I put a shade with a pencil. So now I am using the detailed pen. As you can see, I go first on the lines, and now I completed the dark tones, and I'm going through the hair again. So they're actually important, the hairs. Hair color. So first I shaded it with a little bit of light black. Then since it's too wet, I have to go on the other parts of the picture and take a little bit of green where the grasses are. You see, this is just like throwing out the colors. So I just put it everywhere. I don't even know what I'm doing. That looks so ridiculous. I put a lot of green. I think I was too enthusiastic with the green color, so I put it everywhere like crazy. Now I think it doesn't look so nice, so I put a little bit of black, but now I wasn't even happy with the look of that. So I went back to it and colored everything. So a little bit of red again. And let's return to that color on her sweatshirt. So a little bit of dark to put the shadow of the clothing. And you see, I am switching between the pens because I have the big pen and I have the small one. So from this point, I actually made a little bit of mistake over the hair on the head. It went over to the margin. It's supposed to be not there, but I didn't notice it. I was enjoying the color too much, so yeah. So now I am refining the lines of the hair just a little bit. See, it becomes so dark. Going back on the top of the left part of the head, I'm trying to fix the hair well. So now I used my pen. It's not so wet. It was a little bit of dry actually, and I just use it to refine the lines. Now you see, you could actually see some lines, by the way. It was not a lot before. Now we're trying to refine the details of the hairlines and the side of the face, and to make a little bit of stroke, so just to show that it's it would look a little bit realistic. Not too much, because this is a painting, so you shouldn't do something that would actually look like the original. It should portray the character of the person when you draw. You know, that's the artistic side. So now, as you can see, the hairlines. like, you know, because she's outside, so we have to think that it was quiet, windy when she was there, and we have to make the hair a little bit everywhere as it was in the picture, but a little bit more lively. So as you can see, it's effective with the light color first, and then you let them dry and then cover it with black, because if you put the layers on watercolor by as if it was still wet, then you would destroy the whole image. So you have to wait for that part to dry, and then you can go on the other parts of the picture and cover them. So now I'm trying to refine the chin, and I'm putting on the shadows. Oh, that was too dark. Let's lessen it with a little bit of water. Just get a little bit of water and mix a little bit of blue and black, and it become gray. Now let's go there. Like, we'll just paint a little bit of blue the sky. As you see, when I splattered or splatter, I don't know. Platter, that's a plate. Platter, I'm hungry. This is the 5th. No, I think this was the 4th hour now. And still painting it with blue on the sky, just to give a little bit of, you know, some sort of reflection of the light over her face and head and everywhere. So now let's color it a little bit more darker red. So, and a little bit of darker red on under, and so on. Now let's put on the lines on the clothes. If you have seen this picture, you will see the details of the sweatshirt that she have, and it actually has a line. I think it's a wool. I think it was a weaved clothing. So I'm trying just to imitate it by those lines, because those are the characters of that sweater that she was wearing actually. And we're just gonna color her jeans. Actually, as I'm talking here behind the camera, I'm a little bit sleepy, because I feel sleepy with my own music, and I feel sleepy with my own voice. Just so you know, my eyes is half going to bed. And I don't know why I'm whispering, but I like to whisper because I feel a little bit really sleepy. So we just have to finish this painting, and all of us will gonna go and try to rest, because you know I look forward to the next painting. So please like and subscribe, because you are helping me a lot. Whenever you comment, whenever you leave an appraisal, yay, let's try to write my name now, eh? So, thank you so much everyone for watching. I enjoyed a lot talking to you. I'm talking to you, and you're just listening to me. So, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless and mabuhay. Pilipinas. Saan man sa mundo.